Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and this is a little bit of highlights from my Hawaii vacation slash runcation. It was a cold 17 degrees when we left Houston, ended up in Las Vegas for a short layover before we headed out to beautiful Kauai, Hawaii. I was so glad to get out of this cold weather. Now, the Vegas stop didn't do much for me. I'm not a gambler, but it was still interesting to see their airport. On to Kauai we go. It was a beautiful trip. I had so much fun, and I loved all the chickens. Oh my gosh, guys, this cracked me up. I've never in my life seen so many chickens anywhere. First stop, we got there Wednesday afternoon, and we had a luau to go to. So we left straight from the airport and went straight over to the Smith's Garden luau. And it was about 5 hours long. So we got there at 5, and I'm telling you, with the time difference, it was already 9 o'clock our time, so I was exhausted by the time this day ended. This is Kamika Smith. I am a friend of his. He runs in the same running club that I run in. His family hosts every year this luau for the running community in the Mainly Marathon group. So the first night is the luau, and then 2 of the 4 races are held right here at his family's. There's all those chickens. I'm telling you guys, I loved it. Chickens everywhere. Anyhow, 2 of the running days is hosted here on the property, and the other 2 days are at a park, which is very close by. So while we were at the luau, we got to catch some of the action. After we had a great, big, gigantic feast of all kind of food, we went and watched a show. This was really cool. They had all kind of different shows from around the world. This one was probably one of my favorites with the fire. Plus, by this point, I was getting wore out. But the fire and all the different things, the action that was happening around me kept me going until we finally finished up there about 9 or so their time. And then I had to get some sleep for the next morning. Next morning, I got up early and I did a 5K run around the Smith's Garden area. And it was even better views in the morning time. Absolutely gorgeous. I can so understand why they go back there every year to do these races. Just total beauty everywhere you looked. And this is all where he lives. It was amazing to me. So we did the 5K, or I did the 5K the first day. A lot of the runners there were there for longer races. You know, they had anywhere up to a 50K. You could do 5K, 10K, half, a full, a 50K run. So every day was the same distance races, just in different areas. So I just did the 5K that day just to get my first day down, because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel after doing such a long day of flying around. But it was great. It was so good to see all the people that I used to run with, 4 or 5 years ago. And I just have, over the years, you just disconnect with people, right? So it was good to reconnect with people and enjoy. So after the 5K was done, the touring time began. So the first stop we did was Tree Tunnel. We decided to do the north side of the island this day, and this was right on the way up. It's a little park area that has a walking / bike riding path, and it's literally covered in these trees for a good little section of it. And then when you come out of the tunnel, there's the water on the other side, and you can hike down to it, which we did a little, but not much. That was about as far as I wanted to go, because at that time I didn't know if there was snakes or whatever out there, and I did not want to get into that. Oh, this was hilarious. We come out of the tree tunnel, and there's buses. I was like, really? I can't even get away from work on vacation. But next stop on our list, we drove up the coast a little ways and started hitting some of the beaches and seeing some of the different sites. Man, the views are just breathtaking. On this particular day, there wasn't many people out in the water swimming, but everybody was just here relaxing. It was nice. Then right across the street was this cave in the side of the mountain that people could go in and just tour around. It used to be much bigger, but I heard that over the years, part of it collapsed, so you couldn't go as far back, but you could just go into it and look around. It was really sort of neat. I mean, nothing major, nothing big, but we met some really nice people inside and talked for a few minutes. They were on a cruise ship and had just gotten off, and so that was one of their first stops. But I really did enjoy the cave, even though it was not a major touristy thing to do. Next, we decided to drive back down and hit a couple of other places. And I'm going to tell you, the drives around this island can be a little bit crazy at times. There are people out there directing traffic at some of these because there's only one vehicle allowed over the bridges at a time, either direction. So it took us a little while to get to the north side and back down to where we were staying on the east side. This was just insane to me. But honestly, I'd much rather have this kind of traffic than Houston traffic any day of the week. Way back down, we stopped off at a few outlook points and seen some more beautiful scenery. And then we went to Hana Pier. That was our next stop. I wanted the picture up here because I've seen it on several videos and it just looks beautiful. And there were people swimming on both sides of this pier all the way around. And I was like, man, if we'd had more time, this would have been the spot for us to get in the water. But I never did. We just kept looking and traveling as I wanted to get as much in as I could while we were there. Our next stop was the Kilauea Lighthouse. If any of you guys follow me, you know that I love to tour lighthouses. Of course, we couldn't go up inside of this one, but it was just great to see the views from around the area and to get a little lighthouse action. I knew my trip would not be complete unless I tried JoJo Shave Ice. I had a tropical breeze and it was delicious. I wish I would have had more. Actually, they have like 3 or 4 different locations. While I was there, I only tried one, but I really wish I had tried a few more. It's definitely one of the highlights. It's not like a typical snow cone that we know of here in the States. The ice is so soft. It's not hard. I can't even describe it. And at the bottom of mine, there was like some macadamia nuts and vanilla ice cream. Oh my God, it was just so good. There's lots of things on Kauai that I would like to go back and do, but this is one of those things I would definitely do again and again. Next stop was to get some Hoola Pie. Oh Lord, this was like macadamia nut ice cream with whipped cream and nuts and fudge. This was definitely one of the highlighted desserts of the trip. The next stop on our food adventure landed us at Puka Dog. Now, I am not a hot dog eater at all, but when I saw this, I thought I have to try it. Literally, this is a Polish sausage that they put inside of this Hawaiian type bun and add all these different types of relishes. I had a pineapple relish, and back in the back there, she's making fresh squeezed lemonade. I had to have one of each. It was actually really, really good. To my surprise, I enjoyed it, and then we walked across the street and to watch the sunset at Poipu Beach. Now, to my surprise, this was going to end up being the highlight of my entire trip. Guys, I thought I was just going to go watch a sunset, but I got so much more. If you guys follow me, you know that I have a tortoise. He's an African land tortoise, so he's totally different than these guys, but these are green turtles that are native to this area, and they literally are on every one of the islands in Hawaii, but every night at sunset, they come up out of the water and they sleep on the beach overnight, and then before the sun rises, they go back out into the water to feed for the full day, and then they come and repeat it. And so as we're standing there was 17 of them when we got there, and as we're standing there, I'm thinking, how cool would it actually be if we seen one of these guys come up out of the water? This would be the highlight of my trip. Did I ever expect it to really happen? No, I didn't. But I was blessed, not with just one, but with two. We got to see two of these beautiful creatures come up out of the water and light with their other 17 friends for a good night's sleep on the beach. It was so super exciting. I could not get over how much I enjoyed this. We did talk to a couple of the volunteers there because they have it roped off to where you can't get close to them. Actually, there's a law over there. You're not supposed to be within 10 feet of a sea turtle. So it's okay, like if you're out in the water and the sea turtle comes up to you, but you do not go to it. And some of them, I've talked to some people and they said that that's actually happened to them while they were out in the water. But we talked to a couple of the volunteers and they were telling us that every year the females will actually swim 444 miles to go lay eggs on this other little island away from Kauai that is like pretty much, desert. There's nobody living there. It's just nothing but a little island land. So they'll lay their eggs there and then they make the trek back over here, and because this is where they were born. So it's really interesting to see and hear the stories. But I truly, truly love this. This was the highlight. I mean, even with all the beauty, for me, this made my trip. So at the end of the day, I got to see some wonderful green sea turtles come in and get a good night's sleep, watch a beautiful sunset, and I think we did enough for one day. So it was time for us to head back to our room and get some rest because I had another race to do the next day. So I said goodbye to my friend and we headed on back to the room. All right, guys, that's all I'm going to get in this first video of our trip to Kauai. I just wanted to include y'all. Thanks for being here, and I will check in with y'all later. Bye.